Hello, Scott. Hey, I know we've been having a little bit time connecting, and I'm sure you're very busy. So I thought I'd take one of the drawings that you sent and show you what it takes to just bring it in and turn it into a box. So, by the way, if I look around here in some different places, I have a monitor here. My camera's up here. I have a monitor over here, this way, and I have a monitor down there. So, but anyway, and my trusty cat behind me. So let's go ahead and just bring in one of your drawings. So we'll hit import. When we start the import, it's going to ask us to pick a piece of material. We've got a huge material library, all types of materials. We're just going to start with a folding carton, but we can change the thickness, whatever, and we can also change it even after we've started the process. Let's just take this first tray that you sent over here and bring it in. So when we get this in, there's a whole bunch of different items and stuff here that we don't really need. We don't need all the dimensions. We don't need all that. We're really looking for the meat, the drawing here. And so let's go look in our styles and kind of turn off what we don't need and then start to get things put on the right layers. So plotting, you can see, is really the cutting that we want. Cutting is really the creasing we want. It doesn't look like there's anything on axes. If we go down here to the bottom, we may want, those are, you might want when you go to put the printer graphics on. I kind of went through these earlier. So really the most of the middle stuff is stuff we don't want. So I'm going to turn off the items here that we want to get rid of. I'm going to turn off this and this. Then I'm going to go ahead and just delete these items here. I'm going to turn cutting back on first because we really want cutting to be on creasing. So if I move cutting to creasing, or the other one first, it's just going to make it more time consuming. So we'll grab this layer. These little bars kind of tell me, perforating, this one's creasing, this one's cutting. So boom, now you can see that one's on creasing. Let's turn that one off, turn this plotting on. Now you'll see all this stuff selected. I got this kind of cool highlighter tool. So in the way I'm at right now, if I select like that, it can select just these items. But if I turn this one on and I select, it gets everything that I touched and went over. So if we grab this and let's grab this stuff here and down here. All right. So then we'll take everything that's on this layer and let's move it on cutting. Let's turn on a couple of these others. So these other lines that are right there, we'd actually like to have on cutting too. So make sure all that's on cutting. And these are perforated. So by the way, we could just make this a whole continuous line and then put it on perforating and perforate it the way that we want to perforate it using the different perforating techniques. Or we'll just leave it and cut it as the designer had it cut. This is a bleed line. So we don't necessarily need this because we can create our own offset or we could measure it to see what it is, but we'll leave it on there for now. And then these are areas, I think, when looking at the drawing that they didn't want you to print in. So let's turn these on. We got cutting and creasing. I'm going to turn that off and the green line off. Okay. So now this should be what we're most interested in right here. This is what we'd like to go and basically cut a sample out and go to town. So let's first create a 3D of this. So we'll go to 3D. And by the way, in here, I've got all these. I mean, I can go and create different arcs. I can go create different fillets. I got all kinds of circles. So I got every CAD tool that you pretty much need. In our transformations, we've got all kinds of extend, copy, all this type of stuff. But let's go to 3D real quick. We'll generate a 3D model, and then let's just see if the thing folds up. So it actually folded up, but it didn't fold up the way we want it, but we'll get back and we'll fix that in a minute. So just to see if there's anything else that we can clean up a little bit better, let's go back over to our 2D drawing. Got a couple different tabs down here. And then I'm going to go to Transformations and our Fix-It tool. So in our Fix-It tool, I can go start looking at some different things. So let's look at unconnected ends first. So if I zoom out, you can see that's an unconnected end that we actually want to be an unconnected end. Same thing with this. This one here we don't like because it's hanging over the edge. So let's fix that. Let's grab it and snap it right onto that line. All right, and then I think the rest of these are just those perforated lines. Like I said, there wouldn't be a problem if we had turned it into a perforating, but we're just going to leave it so. And if you could go through them all. We've got these gaps. So this is the same thing. It's the gaps between all these different perforated lines. Tangents. So these are arcs and stuff that we could improve if we needed to, but I think they were all pretty fine. Then this can show us any parallel lines that maybe aren't where they need to be. So let's say parallel. We can go see. Let's try deleting that. Nope. Let's see that got rid of that. So we do want that there, but there could be, if we had a problem, this will show us where we can come in and clean up some more. So anyway, we'll zoom out here and see that everything hatched. We know that filled in right. And we also saw it fold up a minute ago, so it's pretty good. But anyway, so let's get out of the Fix It tool. Let's go back over to the 3D. Now, we don't have to do this phase if we really didn't want to, because what we have now, we could go crease and cut. But let's just kind of, let me get back to the beginning of this. And let's zoom up. Let's see which direction these are folding in. So, oops. Which is our base. So the base panel is this one right now. We'd really like this to be our base panel. So let's switch that to our base panel so everything can fold around that. Zoom back out. So that's our base. Let's delete this step. Let's create our own step. So usage, insert, step. Let's just insert a few steps. Step below. Step below. Okay, so this will be our usage. And let's insert a viewpoint here. Insert viewpoint. Okay, so now let's start doing some folding. So we'll grab this piece here, fold it 90 degrees. See, fold this one 90 degrees. Oops, fold 90 degrees, and the same one with this one. Fold 90 degrees. Okay, so we've got that whole bottom row folded. That's in step one. So in step two, let's start bringing the box together. So we'll start out here at the end. And let's fold this. So fold 90. Let's fold this one 90. And then 90. And the last one, fold it 90. All right, so we kind of brought our box together. And for the next step, now that we're there, let's zoom in, kind of get it angled the way we want. Let's put another camera angle in there, insert viewpoint. Okay, and then let's put a step in where, let's fold this tab in first, fold 90, and then let's fold this one in 90. So step 4, actually we'll just zoom in some more. So this could be our shipping state. Okay. So there's the box. It's all closed up, packed, ready to ship. Let's insert another phase below. Okay, and let's call this display. Okay, so now with this display, we're going to zoom out a little bit. And let's move them down. Okay, so for step 1, let's insert a new viewpoint. Insert step below. Okay, and now we're going to open the box back up. So fold back to 0. And then let's grab this piece here and fold it to 180. Okay, it's down. Grab this piece. Let's fold it to -45 so it folds back. And then we're going to fold this to, I think, 135. Okay. So now you look and you've got your display box. And so let's insert another step. Insert step below. And we may need, we'll see in a second, we may need another camera angle, but so if we zoom in here, and let's put our camera angle right here, insert viewpoint. Okay, so let's start back and watch how this plays. Okay. Yeah, so I think what we want to do is open it up first. So let's insert step. Oh, we'll drag that step down. Okay. All right. So step 2, let's open up that box. Fold to 0. Okay. So now let's try playing it. There we go. So then you get to see. Okay, so now box is all prepared. Let's say that you want to show this to, somebody. You can basically, in here, we can take this and we can put it in our shared space. So if I click on my shared space, and I'll call this test box 1 for the sake of argument. And let's upload it. Okay, I can copy this link right here and I could email it to somebody, but let's go and open it up. That popped up down here. Log in. And so here's my test box. So now you're in a browser. Anybody that has access to this link that we sent, you could play through, see the box come together, and then fold around, and there you go. And then you can go look at, that's the display, there's the usage, and there's the start. Okay, so pretty cool. Let's minimize that for the second. Close this. So the other thing we might want to do before we go put any graphics or anything on that is we might want to create a layout. So let's go back to our 2D that's right here, and let's create a layout. And so let's do automatic nesting. Say okay. And let's pick a 4x8 sheet. And so we'll try to get the minimum amount of waste. So this is 55, 55, 58. So let's take this one right here. Say okay. So here's our nest that I already used just the default gaps, but here's a whole sheet of them. You can throw this up on your cutting table, cut them out. The other thing we'd probably want is some registration marks. So let's grab registration marks. Let's stick one in the corners. Okay. And so now we've got the 2D drawing. We've got this here, 3D, and we got the layout. So let's save this. So file, save as an EngView file. And throw this in. And we'll just call this Midol 1. Save. All right, so I'm going to close out of EngView. Let's go into Adobe Illustrator. File, open. Midol 1, open. Say okay. So in here, see, we got these other layers. We could have put these on something else, turn them on and off. Here's our box that's over here. Let's go to the turn so you can see that we're running live inside of Adobe. And then in here, we can stick some graphics on. So I'm sure you've got some design or something going on. I'm not a graphic designer by any means, but let's just throw some nature stuff on here. So we'll throw like a butterfly over here and fish over here. And no, a ladybug over here. All right. Let's move these out of the way. And let's make our butterfly a little bit bigger. We'll make our fish actually overhang. So we're going to put big fish on here. And then we got our bug. We'll do the same thing with the butterfly. Let's just make it overhang, and I'll show you why in a second. All right. So voila. From here, you could go ahead and, you would have turned this bleed layer off because you don't need it. You turn some stuff off. You could save it as a PDF and take it to your printer and take your, cut to the cutter, the Kongsberg, I think you guys said, or whatever you had. But anyway, you can go and cut it. But let's also go look at our layout. So let's generate down here, and we're going to generate a bleed. We'll do like a 3mm bleed. We're just doing the front of the box too. We could do inside the box, outside the box. But right here, this will take that original drawing we had. And if you look, it's basically, let's see here, Control plus minus. There we go. It's already done the graphics cut off and stuff for us. So you can see the fish has been cut off, all this stuff, so it won't be printed when you go to print. And let's minus back out. So you could output this file, like I said, and this could be, you're ready to go file for both your machines. So anyway, hopefully this will help. Happy to set up a demo, kind of take you through some other things, but that's the process of taking, one of those boxes you sent and getting it ready to cut pretty quick. And if you did this all the time, unlike me, you could even do it a whole lot faster. So thanks.